Truth about the ice cream shop. I want to tell that story. It makes me look good. It makes you look, I don't know.
I stood on the edge of a bridge in Pittsburgh one day. I had climbed over the railing and wanted to jump. And just a pedestrian walking by at the right time was enough to stop my plan. My background with mental illness started when I was early. I always had a self-hate and didn't really know why. And then probably my first thoughts of suicide became when I was probably a teenager. And they never really left. Every month, every 2 months, I would think about taking my own life. Didn't matter how good things were. I got married, had a good job, a new house. Everything was great. I was a deacon in the church. I went every Sunday. I had a smile on my face. And the whole time I wanted to take my own life. And there were some suicide attempts. Thinking back, the suicide actual attempts don't scare me as much as the constant self-hate that I had. And wouldn't tell anybody. And then came to a new church at Temple, had a program called Recovery Alive. And came on Friday night, my first night, and went to a small group afterwards and met about a dozen or so men who'd never met me, and everything just felt free and open, and I'd never been in that environment. And they were sharing things I just wouldn't expect other men to share, and open for them. And opened up about my suicide attempts, and they laid hands on me and prayed, and it was about the time that I really started to open up and went to a psychiatrist, was put on medication, and just kind of allowed God to start working. And kept coming on Friday nights. That was non-conditional. It was every Friday night I was going to be at Recovery Live. And then one night when we had an altar call, I felt compelled to go up to the altar, and I didn't. And I felt God laying on my heart. My hands were sweaty, my heart was racing, and I just grabbed the seat in front of me and wouldn't let go. And then we did an extra altar call, and I felt the same way, and somebody else walked up, and I kind of breathed a sigh of relief. I had, made it through it. And then we had another altar call, and at that point I just kind of let go. And my whole life I had always prayed for God to reveal why I had all this, what purpose was it serving, how could I use it to help other people. And I had none of that on my mind at night and my heart, and I just knelt down at the altar and asked God to just take it. And the next day I woke up and everything was different. My whole life was different. And I hadn't been a month in my entire adult life where I hadn't thought about taking my own life. And for the next 22 months, I didn't have a thought of suicide. And then February of 22, life got really difficult. A lot of people pleasing, the anxiety came back. I had more than I can handle. I didn't feel like I could let anybody down by saying no. And I just got really tired. And I just wanted to sleep. And if that meant sleeping forever, then that was okay too. And that suicide attempt was different. There was no self-hate. I loved myself, but I had let people down, and that I couldn't live with. And I just wanted to sleep. So it was another suicide attempt with pills and things. And just long story short, I woke up after I'd taken all those with no recollection of what happened other than a random phone call that they knew something wasn't right when they talked to me, and I don't remember the conversation. And they called and got me help. And if that phone call had happened, it would have been too late. Temple City is a place where I feel like I can share anything because I feel like they're at the forefront. There's a lot of churches, and I've been in some, and they were great churches and great pastors, but I didn't feel like I could come forward. If you're struggling with mental health, you need to come to Temple. This is an open door. I know in your mind you're living in a box, and there is no way out. And there is no door for you to open. And if there was, you're scared to death to open it because you don't know what's on the outside. But I promise you, if you will come here, you will meet other people who are where you are now, and they openly share, and there is healing here. And there is a different world than what you're experiencing. And there is a better life than what you're experiencing. And I promise you will see it. You will work through it. And all those things that you're battling now will be in the past. And you can gain freedom from those things. And then you can tell other people about it.
So, ice cream. We have to shut this off if we're gonna do that.
You gotta shut that. You gotta shut that off. You shut it off, I'll tell it.